To Lu Jun, General Lewis had fought on countless battlefields for years, possessing an incredibly strong physique. Combined with his half-step ultimate Grandmaster cultivation, even if he couldn't defeat Dustin, he shouldn't be far behind. But what Lu Jun never expected was that Dustin had only used a single finger to severely injure General Lewis, leaving him unable to even stand. The gap in strength between them was far beyond his imagination. In other words, from the very beginning, Dustin had been toying with him like a cat playing with a mouse. He had never been serious at all. If he had, all of them would have been taken down in an instant. Cough, cough, cough. General Lewis clutched his chest, coughing up blood as he struggled to stand. At this moment, his chest was completely scorched, flesh and blood mangled, a horrifying sight. I didn't expect you to be this strong. I underestimated you. General Lewis slowly lifted his head, his face twisted in pain. Falling into your hands today, guess I'm just unlucky. Come on, finish me off quickly. With his character, even if he lost, he would rather die standing than kneeling. Relax. I won't kill you for now. Your life still has some use, Dustin said casually, waving his hand. 3 silver needles shot out instantly, piercing 3 key acupuncture points on General Lewis' body. General Lewis trembled violently before collapsing to the ground, his limbs going completely limp. He couldn't even move a finger. What did you do to me? General Lewis was both shocked and furious. He realized that not only could he not move, but even his internal energy was completely sealed. Right now, he was no different from a fish on a chopping board. No need to panic. I only sealed your cultivation, Dustin said as he stepped forward, preparing to grab General Lewis. But suddenly, a crimson light appeared in the night sky. At first, it was no more than a faint red dot, as unnoticeable as a distant star. But within a single breath, the light expanded hundreds of times, transforming into a massive blood-red moon. The red moon plummeted rapidly, growing larger with every second, leaving a long trail of crimson flames in its wake. At first glance, it looked like a doomsday meteor. Boom! A deafening explosion of thunder echoed through the sky. Wherever the crimson moon passed, the winds howled, the clouds darkened, and even the air seemed to distort. An overwhelming, divine pressure descended upon the dock. In an instant, within a 100-meter radius, the seawater froze, the wind stopped, and even time itself seemed to halt. General Lewis and Lu Jun's group felt as if their chests were being crushed by a mountain. They couldn't move, not even their hearts dared to beat. In that moment, they were no longer living beings but mere paintings, stripped of all vitality. Not even a strand of their hair could stir. Dustin slowly lifted his head, gazing at the rapidly falling crimson moon. For the first time, he felt a slight sense of pressure. Raising his hands swiftly, he conjured a protective barrier above his head. The next moment, the massive crimson moon, nearly 10 meters wide, crashed down onto the barrier. Boom! A thunderous explosion shook the heavens and the earth. A terrifying shockwave erupted from the point of impact, spreading in all directions. Where the energy wave passed, the frozen seawater was thrown into the air, the still wind turned into a violent storm, and the immobilized General Lewis and his men were sent flying like broken kites, crashing heavily onto the ground. Their already severe injuries worsened, but compared to the suffocating fear they had just experienced, the pain was almost a relief. At least now, they knew they were still alive, because in that fleeting moment when the red moon descended, they had felt like lifeless corpses. Whoosh! The energy shockwave leveled everything at the dock. Several fishing boats moored nearby were instantly shattered into pieces, reduced to mere wreckage. When the dust finally settled, the scene before them left General Lewis and his men utterly horrified. A massive crater, 30 meters wide, had formed where the crimson moon had struck, and at the very center, Dustin was gone. Vanished into thin air. Not only that. Above the crater, a towering figure loomed in the air, like a god descending from the heavens. The figure was clad in red armor resembling fish scales, his body massive and imposing. His rugged face was framed by wavy, flowing hair, and in his hand, he wielded a golden trident. Hovering midair, his piercing blue eyes, like the endless ocean, gazed down indifferently at everyone present. Ha! Lu Jun's eyes widened in shock. Ignoring his own injuries, he immediately dropped to his knees, bowing deeply with his forehead pressed against the ground. With a face full of reverence, he shouted, Subordinate Lu Jun greets Lord Poseidon. What? Poseidon? General Lewis' body trembled in shock, followed by overwhelming joy. Poseidon, one of the 4 divine kings of the Pantheon Gods, a top-tier ultimate grandmaster, a true pillar of power. He never imagined that such a legendary figure would personally arrive in West Lacosia to rescue him. Now, he was saved. General Lewis let out a long sigh of relief, his face filled with the joy of surviving a disaster. With divine King Poseidon here, let alone Dustin, even an entire army from West Lacosia wouldn't stand a chance.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tight, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care, now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace, but now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase. Keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never let